All right, and we are back for the final trial of Demise vs. Iconic, and it all comes down to this, where we are going to be seeing Demice's Nurse versus Iconic Survivor Team. Iconic, quite the uphill battle here, but not outside the realm of possibility, as they are going to need to get a 4-man out with 4 hooks or less. It's against the Nurse. It is the S tier of S tiers, the most broken killer in the game. And they find a Lori out in the middle of nowhere for a very early hit, as only few moments have passed as corrupt intervention will expire. So that is the first hook of 4. These survivors better be on gens. We need to see them popping off, as we do see a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance off in the distance, regressing the most progressed gen by 15%. We see a survivor up on Gallows. Not much progression on the gen. Jake holding their ground though, and looks like a potential balance landing, try and make a little bit of distance. However, Nurse does not care and will get the blink strike at the pallet. And unfortunately, looks like the Jake may have lost all will to fight, as they will end up going on the hook for the second hook of this match. 2 more hooks, and these survivors will be going back to the campfire empty-handed, as Demise will take the W. Demise making sure, though, as they will apply what the survivors will soon find out to be an overcharge and a potential eruption or Call of Brine. Though actually, since it's overcharge, you guys should know, based on the combo bans, that is not called Brine. In fact, it is a eruption. And looks like the Nurse will go for the tunnel out here on the Jake. It does make a lot of sense, though misfire there on the blink will not matter, though, as Jake will go down unless he has a decisive strike in hand. Looks like it is, though Jake will not get far, as unfortunately decisive just not good enough nowadays for it to matter. And that there will be the first gen of the game completed by the Adam Blit of Sprint Burst there in the distance. That will be the 3rd hook. At this point in time, survivors need to go on the chases of their lifetime, as they need to get 4 gens completed here before another hook on a survivor. If, in instance, the Nurse is able to do that, they will claim victory here today for the entire match. Looks like the Nurse will drop chase here. Instead, will kick the gen, once again applying overcharge and eruption, and going back to the hook here, potentially for the tunnel out on the Jake. No for the people to try and ensure Jake's safety. But no bloodstains here either, suggesting it was the unhooker, the Nancy, who will take a hit there from the Nurse's blink strike. Nancy trying to get the main in time. Nurse with the aggressive swing, unable to connect though, as Nancy will make a bit of distance. Nancy here, one of the best jukers we've seen thus far against the majority of these killers, will make it very difficult here for the Nurse. The question is, can they carry a 3-gen chase here to close out this match? And so far, they are doing just that. Nancy still going, this time finding a Jake though. The Nurse potentially opting to change targets, telling out the Jake for the final hook of this match. A bit of a bounce landing. Unfortunately, it does not matter, as Jake will end up going down. No decisive strike in hand. Unless there's a Saba play incoming, the Jake will be sent back to the campfire, and the Nurse will close out this match with a victory. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance progressing gens by 50%. Lori with the tempted light bird on the Nurse. Unfortunately, just unable to get it in time. And we will see it once again, this time getting the blind, but Nurse still getting the blink off and the down as well. Talk about a blind strike there. And we will see the hook on the Lori, securing the 5th hook of this match, and once again, the win for Demise. 1 survivor on hook, 2 survivors injured, only 2 gens remaining. It is possible that these survivors might be able to get some of them out of this match via the exit gate. However, with only 3 survivors left in the match, it will be quite a difficult task indeed, as the nurse will be able to maneuver around this map with ease with their blink strikes. We did hear the Adam there, nurse did too, and that there will be another down and a eruption there in the distance. No pal stun incoming for the Adam, and no sign of the Nancy either. Though it looks like they did secure the unhook on the Lori. It looks like at this point in time, we are looking at 1 hook on Adam, Jake out of the match, 2 hooks on Lori, and no hooks on the Nancy. Excuse me. Algae is acting up here in where I am at. We will see the unhook on the Adam once again, and looks like the nurse will in fact go for the tunnel out, ignoring the built-in BT, instead going for the hit, forcing the Adam to move into main. No sign of the Adam though, and looks like nurse actually getting a bit faked out there, as Adam stayed on the 1st floor. However, it does not matter, as Adam will go down, and as we know, nurse does not need to worry about a decisive strike, as Adam will be sent back to the campfire via the entity here, I do believe. Overall, amazing play here by the nurse, and correction, looks like Adam has 1 more hook state to give. The only survivor yet to be hooked here is the Nancy. Both Lori and Adam at this point in time set up and ready to be sent back to the campfire. And we do see crows come back over near the gen, and it looks like the nurse may have seen it too, as we do see the Lori trying to make their way to the corner of the map to evade the nurse's blink strike. Let's see if we see a double back here. Nurse holding their ground, will fatigue out, and Lori will attempt the double back, however, going down, as Adam will be unhooked by the Nancy once again. 2 survivors left here in this realm, and Nancy and Adam still have 2 gens to complete. Unfortunately, I think the only way that we're going to see a survivor escape is going to be via the hatch today, and I get a feeling that the nurse here, though they don't need it for the win condition, might in fact slug out for the 4K if in fact they find the Adam. Could be a very similar situation that we saw earlier in this match, as the nurse did slug out for the 4K, resulting in a bleed out on the final survivor. However, nurse looking around, trying to find where these survivors are, and they do spot the Adam up on main. Adam trying to get a little bit of distance. Nurse with the prediction blink, not able to see where the Adam went, as they will end up doubling back and dropping down to the main floor, as Adam will take the hit at the pallet. Adam holding W, it would seem, and a bit of a misfire there on the nurse's blink, as they are unable to catch up to the Adam in time, as he does make his way back up to main. And nurse trying to figure out if he dropped down or not. Looks like he did stay up on top, dropping down to the main floor now, and Adam making this a pretty decent chase. If the Nancy is on gen, she might just be able to pop it off in time. And we do see the eruption, and nurse not going for the slug for the 4K, instead hooking nearby the shack. It ain't that far away, and nurse should be able to blink immediately on top of the hatch. It now all depends on where these exit gates are, if the Nancy will be able to escape. Exit gate within line of sight for the nurse from shack here. The second one I have not seen just yet, but we'll see it here as the hatch is closed, and nurse now primed and ready with the blink strike. Holding out, trying to see if they can see both exit gates side by side, and I think they might be able to, or at least enough to where they can check it pretty consistently. Nurse seeing something off in the distance. That there is the Nancy, her final attempt in this match. But unfortunately, it will instead result in a final chase. And let's see. Nurse saying, you know, let's go for a stroll. We're going to go for a walk. And end up getting hit at the pallet on the Nancy here. Nancy making her way over towards the shack. Actually, instead, going for a potential play here at the pallet. Nurse just holding W. Not really in much of a rush. EGC ticking the time down. Not wanting to make any mistakes here, as they are just going to keep the Nancy in line of sight, choosing the perfect moment to get the down. Nancy at the pallet. Nurse not going for the blink strike here like they did last time. Just keeping the Nancy tailed bit by bit, waiting for EGC. About 30 seconds, potentially 15 here left. Nurse with the blink and the down. And that there will be the final down of this match, resulting in Demise taking the W for round number 4 against Iconic. GG, well played to both sides, and congratulations to Demise for taking the victory. With that being said, we are actually a little bit late to our next match, so we're going to be jumping right on in. Do not go anywhere, as we are going to go take a very quick 3-minute break. But before we do, we want to thank everyone here today. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.